Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to Papermaker Stadium here on the campus of J.R. Garrett Middle School here in Kimberly, Wisconsin, the site for tonight's Fox Valley Association showdown between the visiting Neenah Rockets and the host Kimberly Papermakers. It's a beautiful late September autumn evening, and we're proud to bring you yet another USA Today Network Wisconsin digital live stream. I'm Ricardo Arguello, hanging out as always with Brett Christopherson, bringing you those high-definition shots is Jim Rosandick, and we're all part, again, of USA Today Network Wisconsin. Well, what else can be said about this matchup? It is a showdown between two Fox Valley Association heavyweights. It's one that perhaps around the state, it's hard to find games that are bigger than this one, Brett. If you look at what you need to qualify a game as a big game, I think this one pretty much checks all the boxes.
And it's homecoming.
That too.
On top of that, Kimberly needs to schedule better when it comes to homecoming, right? But yeah, two teams chasing an FVA championship, Ricardo. One of the top games, obviously, in the night here in the Fox Valley, state of Wisconsin. Two monster games, though, right? You got Kaukauna and Appleton North and another big FVA game. So it's going to be fun. First time we're going to see Kimberly in quite some time since week 2, see how they've grown, and see how this Neenah offense can fare against this Kimberly defense, and vice versa. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, one of a number of big games in the area. Another one, Brett, Menasha Notre Dame. That's another one over there going on in the FRCC South. Winner probably odds-on favorite to capture that conference championship. But again, Kimberly here hosting Neenah. We're going to get to know these teams a little bit. I will start with Kimberly. Brett will follow with Neenah. These notes that I will be reading off put together every week so nicely by Brett Christopherson. Well, what do we know about Kimberly? Well, they're 5-0 coming in to the game overall. They're 4-0 in the Fox Valley Association. They're ranked number 1 in the large division in this week's Associated Press State poll. Yes, they got my number 1 vote. And they're also number 1 in Division 1 in this week's WisSports.net State Coaches poll. And they're coming off a 48-13 victory over Oshkosh West last Friday in an FVA matchup at J.J. Keller Field at Titan Stadium. That's in Oshkosh. Now, Kimberly took control of that game from the outset. 27 first quarter points, jumped out to a 41-0 halftime lead. Quarterback Carson Pendleton had a big night, 145 yards passing, 3 touchdowns on 12 of 14 attempts. 4 players combined to rush for 186 yards and 3 touchdowns, as the Papermakers finished with 356 total yards. Bryson Veith on the receiving end of 2 of Pendleton's touchdown passes. Veith wound up with 5 catches for 61 yards. Brennan Grams was credited with 5 catches for 70 yards. He also caught the other touchdown. Gavin Tyson led the way in rushing with 88 yards and a score on 9 carries. Marcus Doucette scored on a pair of runs and finished with 50 yards on 6 carries. And defensively, Sawyer Hanlon posted 2 of Kimberly's 4 sacks. Now on the season, Pendleton has thrown for 637 yards and 10 touchdowns while completing 61% of his passes. He has a quarterback rating of 116.1. Tyson is the team's top rusher with 545 yards and 6 touchdowns. He's averaging 6 yards a carry and 109 yards a game. And his rushing total ranks 3rd in the FVA. Doucette is next with 268 yards and 5 scores. He's averaging just a shade under 8 yards per carry. Grams and Veith, they're the leading receivers with 21 and 19 catches respectively. Grams has 320 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns, while Veith has 250 yards and 5 touchdowns. And on the defensive side, Cody Oberman leads the way in tackles with 28. Sam McGivern is the sacks leader with 4. And as a team, Kimberly's averaging 132.4 passing yards per game and allowing 104.6. Papermakers are averaging 180 rushing yards per game, and they're allowing just 99. Kimberly, points-wise, are averaging 32.6 a game and allowing 14.4. And their next game is at Kaukauna on Friday, next Friday, I should say, in an FVA matchup. Kickoff scheduled there for 7 o'clock. Brett, what can you tell me about the Rockets?
Ricardo, I can tell you, Neenah 5-1 overall, 3-1 in the Fox Valley Association. The Rockets, Ricardo, ranked 9th in Division 1 in the WisSports.net State Coaches poll. I believe they're 11th, just on the outside looking in the Associated Press Large Division State poll. They're coming off a hard-fought 7-6 victory over Appleton North last Friday in a Fox Valley Association matchup at brand new Neenah High School, right? A game we streamed. Grant Dean, he was credited with Neenah's lone touchdown, a 16-yard dash to the end zone in the 3rd quarter to erase a 6-0 deficit. Neenah blocked a field goal and an extra point, and then Ricardo celebrated the victory when an Appleton North 30-yard field goal attempt with 30.9 seconds remaining missed wide right. Hey, quarterback Evan Van Evenhoven, he's back. He returned to the field after injuring his left wrist in a Week 1 victory over De Pere. He had a big impact as he rushed for a team-high 73 yards on 22 carries. Dean finished with 65 yards on 12 runs. Van Evenhoven, he was also efficient through the air when he had to be, throwing for 65 yards on 9 of 13 passing. Dean, Ricardo, this is going to be interesting. He led the way in receiving with 7 catches for 46 yards. Neenah last week against that really good Appleton North defense used Dean Moore as a wide receiver, split him out wide, tried to get him in space, tried to get him his touches that way rather than trying to force the issue between the tackles and kind of get him in that running game, get him out in space. We'll see if the Rockets want to do that against the Papermakers as well. Defensively, Luke Young, he was all over the field. He had 12 tackles. Aiden Carey and Andrew Carlson tallied 6 stops apiece. On the season, Ashton Van Beek, the freshman, Ricardo, he's throwing for 498 yards and 4 touchdowns while completing 54% of his passes to lead the way in those categories. Again, he played well in place of Van Evenhoven, who has thrown for 91 yards while completing 12 of his 18 attempts. Dean easily leads the Rockets in rushing with 867 yards and 14 touchdowns. He's averaging 9.2 yards per carry, 173.4 yards per game. I'm guessing that the Papermakers defense is going to be keeping an eye on number 8. That rushing total ranks number 1 in the league, by the way. Van Beek, he's next with 227 yards and 3 touchdowns. Dean is also Neenah's top pass catcher with 8 receptions for 104 yards and a touchdown. Young, Luke Keller, and Caleb Schaefer are next with 7 catches apiece. Schaefer has 169 receiving yards, while Keller is next with 168 yards and a TD. On the defensive side, Young is the team's top tackler with 48 stops. Connor Briones and Carey are next with 39 and 34 tackles, respectively. Will St. Clair leads the way in sacks with 4. As a team, Neenah is averaging 98.2 passing yards per game and allowing 154.5. The Rockets are averaging 269 rushing yards per game and allowing 112.7. And then looking at the scoreboard stuff, Neenah averaging 29 points per game and allowing 15.7. Up next for the Rockets, tough one again, home against Fond du Lac on Friday. FBA matchup kickoff is scheduled for 7 p.m. Ricardo, Carson Pendleton comes in hot quarterback for the Rockets. And that's, or for the Papermakers, I should say. The Rockets sometimes can give up some stuff through the air, so another matchup to pay attention to here tonight.
Absolutely.
We'll talk more about tonight's game. We have our national anthem, though, coming up here on homecoming night.
High School Choir, under the direction of Miss Jennifer Schmitz and Pam Witzball, honors the United States of America and those working for our freedom and our country with our national anthem.
Excellent job by the Kimberly Choir, singing tonight's national anthem. Festive atmosphere here at Papermaker Stadium. We're actually at J.R. Garrett's Middle School, what used to be years ago Ricardo, the high school. High school now just down the road. But again, want to thank Ryan McGinnis, the athletic director here, for getting us in. Appreciate that, Ryan, and making sure we're good to go. Great crew here. They even did some bee control here at the beginning. A big swarm of bees as Rosie and I were coming up before everybody filed in. So they made sure to get rid of those things. I don't like bees, Ricardo.
No. I heard word on the street is they sting.
They sting, and word on the street is I don't react well when I get stung. So, hey, I want to thank our sponsors. Cellcom, unlimited data for smartphones is now more affordable than ever at Cellcom. With their new unlimited plan options starting as low as $25 per month per line. No matter how many lines you need, Cellcom has you covered. Visit cellcom.com/unlimited plus for details. And ETS Performance, the leading provider of sports performance training for athletes across the Midwest and Northeast Wisconsin. ETS provides a customized approach to strength, speed, and injury prevention training for athletes of all sports ages 8 and up. Train like the pros and take your performance to the next level. Visit etsperformance.com to schedule your free athlete evaluation today at the ETS location nearest to you. Also, Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear. Get your team, club, or business name out there with Cooney's. They customize products specifically to fit their customers' needs. Delivery service is available. Contact them today at 920-731-0922 or send them an email at Cooney's, COONEYS 0922 at SBCglobal.net.
Always a great experience coming here, Brett. They really do a great job. Pre-game, during the game, it's just going to be a fantastic showcase of top athletes in our area, 2 top football teams in our area.
Well, Ricardo, we're hitting, now it's week 7, right? And now it's the stretch run. You know, it's hard to believe, first of all, it's week 7, that October is just right around the corner. Beautiful weather here in Northeast Wisconsin, but yeah, now it's the race, and you have 4 teams vying for that Fox Valley Association Championship. Kimberly with a victory tonight would really do itself a huge favor, obviously, to try to go for that FVA championship. We're going to see the Papermakers again in 2 weeks at Appleton North for week 9. This seems like almost kind of a quasi-conference championship for the Rockets tonight, because if they lose, they're pretty much out of the race for the most part, wouldn't you say?
I think it's close to being as playoff atmosphere as you can get.
Yeah.
There's a buzz in the air, and why shouldn't there be? I was telling you, Brett, I had to park near Tanner's. I got here at about 6:15 p.m. Parked about, I might go after there for a slice of pizza.
You might. They're just down the road.
Well, yeah, this has electricity written all over it. Obviously, every time we cover Appleton North and Kimberly, Brett, same kind of situation. That's how far the Neenah program has come along. They're now in those kind of games, Brett, where they bring, the swag, the electricity, and that's always a mark of a good program, Brett, when you get people outside of your community excited.
Right, absolutely. And Kimberly Neenah always had, basketball comes to mind, boys basketball, girls basketball. It just seems like a lot of sports, they meet and they're pretty good, so it makes it even extra fun when it's week 7 of the high school football season. Senior night as well.
As you said, Brett, the seniors being dedicated, honored at midfield as the Papermakers return to their sideline. We're getting ready for kickoff here. Neenah at Kimberly, Papermaker Stadium. I had a Manderfield's cookie, Brett.
Yes.
Before.
And?
Delicious. Not that I expected anything different. And by the way, they're not a sponsor. But
they should be.
They might have to be now. See Grant Dean getting ready for that kickoff.
Grant Dean, Ricardo, and I also see, looks like number 18, Ashton Van Beek is back there.
Wow, okay.
And again, you can't say enough about the job Ashton Van Beek did filling in for Evan Van Evenhoven at quarterback. When Van Evenhoven went down in week 1, a game we streamed, first game at new Neenah High School, he came in and it was kind of a high-scoring game that night and did well running the offense and kept this team afloat and has kept this team in the hunt for a Fox Valley Association championship. What do you think? Is it going to be a defensive game tonight? Is it going to be an offensive game? Or what's your take?
I'm expecting an offensive game. Now, I might be wrong on that, which happens a lot, but I'm expecting some fireworks. But let me tell you, Van Beek, and I looked at the roster for Neenah, he's the only freshman on the roster.
Yeah, he's Van Evenhoven. He's a junior, so he'll be back again next year. But think about that experience Van Beek got this season and how that's going to pay dividends down the road for Steve Young. Kickoff underway, week 7 underway here at Papermaker Stadium. Dean's going to get a crack at it. Nope, it's going to sail into the end zone. And first and 10 for the Rockets coming up at the Neenah 20-yard line. Again, appreciate everybody checking in tonight on postcrescent.com. We're also again streaming Ricardo to the Post Crescent and Press Gazette Facebook pages.
That is true.
We know that there's interest in Green Bay because there's going to be some playoff overlap here. Hard to believe in a couple weeks we'll be talking about brackets already. And people will be griping about the computer and the seating and all that stuff.
That is true.
Also streaming on our USA Today Network Wisconsin YouTube channel. There's Evan Van Evenhoven, has that left wrist wrapped up again, and Van Evenhoven's going to keep it. And not much there for the junior quarterback. Second down, maybe a yard coming up.
Yeah, his first game back, Brad. Now, you and Mike Sherry were there.
Yeah. And
said that he ran quite a bit last week. I was covering West Bend Sprawl matchup between Xavier and Appleton North girls volleyball teams, but there was no restrictions, you made it seem like, huh?
No, 73 yards on 22 carries.
Okay.
Looked like his old self.
Yeah, that's workhorse.
Wasn't favoring anything, so good to have him back. And a pass to Dean outside. Good tackle by, looks like number 12 for the Papermakers, Benny Kiefer, a junior defensive back. Sets up 3rd and short. 3rd and 1 coming up.
And, Brett, that wind seems to be blowing in.
Yeah, so that'd be a crosswind, right? So coming east to west. Definitely a little breezy. We're talking about a little cooler than I was expecting here tonight, but still a beautiful night here. You'll take it in the end of September in week 7. And I think we're going to get a motion. Yeah, that's going to back the Rockets up 5 yards. So 3rd and 1 becomes 3rd and 6. Hey, the all-time series, Neenah leads it 39, 29, and 2. Check this out, though. Kimberly has won the last 17 meetings in the series, including the playoffs. Rockets haven't beaten the Papermakers since the 05 season, Ricardo. 42-28 victory at Neenah. Neenah won 18 of the first 19 games against Kimberly. The other was a 13-13 tie in 1954. The season actually dates back to 1951. But 17 straight for the Papermakers in this series.
3rd and 6. From the 24.
Van Evenhoven will play fake, and nice pass and nice catch. Ricardo, that's number 82, Connor Briones, running a nice route. The senior tight end finding the spot right where he needed to be, and Van Evenhoven putting it in that spot. Nice catch. First down.
34-yard line, so a gain of needed 6. It got 10. So Van Evenhoven right away, 2 for 2, 18 yards, Brett. That was a nice route, nice timing route, and I don't think he really looked for any other options but Briones on that one.
And again, defense has to play honest, right? You're going to do the play action fake, the play fake to Dean. You got to know where Grant Dean is at all times, one of the top running backs in the state. Van Evenhoven going to keep it, but boy, number 6. That's Braden Ellefson, the junior linebacker, 6'3", 195 pounds, getting in the backfield and dropping Van Evenhoven for a 1-yard loss. You see a nice shot of the moon rising over the Papermaker Stadium tonight. Good job by Rosie catching that. Is that the harvest moon? Is that what they call that?
I think that's usually what they do right around October.
Yep. Second down for Van Evenhoven. He's going to drop back, swings it over. Oh!
In and out of the hands, Brett.
Yeah, Caleb Schaefer was there, the junior wide receiver. Lucky that wasn't a turnover. Kind of off the hands, the fingertips popped in the air, and it's usually a spot where those linebackers or those safeties are just waiting for that interception. Instead, third and, I guess, 10.5 we'll call it coming up.
Got to catch that, though. You know, that's right in your hands. I think that's something the receiver would say right away. And now this puts them in tough position, Brett. Third and a short 11.
Behind the sticks, right? That's exactly what you want if you're a Kimberly fan, and this Kimberly defense, maybe a chance to put a little pressure on Van Evenhoven. We'll see what the Rockets quarterback wants to do at the snap. Waiting for it, claps his hands, and he's going to keep it. Going to swing it over to Dean.
Good play.
And Dean in space, and good pursuit, though, by the Kimberly defense. That's scary, and I think that might have been Ellefson again, the junior linebacker, closing in fast, because you get Dean in space like that. I thought he was going to get the first down.
I did too. I think there was a lot of room for him to run, but good job by that Kimberly defense to stop what potentially could have been a big play.
So Neenah will punt. Back is Brennan Grams, number 23, number 22 for the Papermakers, Thomas Myers. And a high snap. Good job, though, to get it. And it looks like Myers going to fair catch it right at the 33-yard line, and that's where we'll see the Papermakers. And Carson Pendleton, the senior quarterback, been red hot here these last few weeks.
It's been a while since we've seen Kimberly, Brett, so I'm curious to see. Pendleton, numbers-wise, seems to have really progressed and matured into that role as quarterback, and it's not. And now they've had a great history of producing and developing quarterbacks as well, Brett.
Seems like they do, right? Every year. Well, let's see what Pendleton wants to do as he waits for his first snap of the night. And there's a handoff to number 3, Gavin Tyson. Senior running backs having a nice season. Stood up, though. Not much movement there up front.
Short gain, 2-yard gain for Tyson. He filled in very nicely last season, Brett. Remember, was that Barry?
Blake Berry, yeah.
Yeah, and now has taken over the role as a lead back, though Doucette will play a fair number of snaps.
Marcus Doucette, yeah, brother of Ethan Doucette. Wasn't Ethan your Post-Crescent player of the year last year? Yeah.
Last year.
Heck of a player for the Papermakers is Tyson. He's slithering his way forward. He'll be a few yards shy coming up third down, ball at the 40. Yeah, remember Doucette, he's all linebacker, wasn't he? All over the field. Helped lead the Papermakers to that state championship.
He did play some fullback for blocking purposes, though, and for maybe some short yardage runs. But, yeah, really an outstanding defender, one of the very best we've seen the last several years.
Has some speed, too. Well, third down for Pendleton. 2 runs for Tyson to start this series. And Tyson back in his way.
Close.
Let's see where they spot. I think he's short by maybe half a yard. And decision time for Chad Michaelwitz. Yeah, it's going to be half a yard shy. Looking at where they're putting the down marker, yeah, maybe a full yard shy. So 4th and 1. And right now that Papermakers offense staying on the field. Big crowd here at Papermaker Stadium. Again, homecoming. I'm looking at the bleachers in front of me. All full. Look at the far bleachers, Ricardo. Tons of Neenah fans here. One of the games of the night in the state of Wisconsin. Pendleton waiting for it. And handoff to Tyson, and I think he's got it.
Oh, it's close.
No, he's got it. I can see where the official is spotting it.
I don't know, Brett.
Forward progress should get it. They got it.
Okay.
Yeah, they did. I was watching the sideline official. The Neenah sideline was celebrating, but he had just enough of a push for that forward progress for them to spot the ball just past the 43-yard line.
Now, are you allowed to push from the back? Maybe have someone do a little Philly special there?
What is Ken the official? Is he watching
I
tonight?
should have asked Ken the official that. That's allowed at the high school level.
Philly special is right? Get Jalen Hurts back there and a whole bunch of guys. And
scrum, right? A rugby
scrum.
That's
what it is.
1st and 10 for Pendleton. Give off the right side. That's Doucette, Brett.
Junior running back. That's a nice little combo they have between Tyson and Doucette. Last time these two teams met, Kimberly beat Neenah 29-28. Ricardo, that was a Division I second-round playoff game we streamed at Old Neenah High School. Rockets led 28-14 in the third quarter before the Papermakers mounted their comeback. Remember, Kimberly quarterback Seth Myron scored on a 19-yard run. That was followed by a successful two-point conversion pass. Then Blake Berry's 3-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter tied the game with 1:18 to play. Hunter Berry's PAT put the Papermakers in front. And then Jack Stotts' interception right at the end secured the win. What a game that was. And that's a second-round game. I'm expecting kind of that to happen a little bit with the computer seedings again this year. We're going to get some probably unexpectedly good early playoff matchups. Sometimes in the olden days, I should say, when it was coaches' seedings, we wouldn't get those great matchups till state quarterfinals, state semifinals. But I think we're in for a treat, especially with how close some of these teams are. There's not a lot of difference.
3rd and 3 situation now, again, for the Papermakers. All runs thus far.
Well, Pendleton's got all day, and he's going to take it, tuck it in, and he dives, and I think he's a little shy. I think he might be a little shy. Let's see where they mark it. And they got 4th down coming up. 4th and 1, 4th and half a yard. There you can see the down marker across the way, Ricardo. Pretty close to the first down stick. So in Neenah territory, Kimberly will definitely go for this. But good job by Pendleton, Ricardo, not panicking and nothing open downfield. Just tucked it in and almost got the first down on the run. 4th down coming up. Tyson in the backfield with Pendleton. Some shifting going on here, getting the offense situated. And I think we're going to get a timeout. That was taking a long time.
See if I can get some scores in while we're waiting, Brett.
Primarily the Kaukauna-Appleton North score, right?
Absolutely.
That's a huge game in the FVA. While you're looking for that, by the way, Ricardo, do you know, and I don't know if you saw this, so far our Varsity Game of the Week live stream slate this season,
yes,
we've had 2 straight 1-point games, 4 straight 1-score games,
wow,
5 1-score games overall, and 6 games decided by 9 points or less.
Is that good? Are those good games for us?
Those are pretty good games, huh? That's a good slate of Game of the Week live streams. Hoping that we get something like this tonight as well. With that moon continuing to rise, that's got to be a good sign for us, right? It's going to be some craziness
they call it
here
Harvest Moon. It looks like a big old buttery moon to me.
You're
I'm
always
hungry.
You're always thinking
hungry.
about butter and
Yep.
rolls, right? All right. Papermakers coming out of the timeout here, 4th and half a yard. A whole bunch of guys trying to block for Tyson. He's got the first down and more. Made a defender miss. It was close, but a formation where basically just 2 lead blockers that Tyson was able to follow and got the half yard for the first down.
Yeah, 5-yard gain. He has 15 yards on 5 carries, this Tyson. This drive continues to move on, Brett. Started at their own 33 with 8:28 in the first quarter left. And this is the 9th play of the drive, Brett.
9th play of the drive. They're only at the
48.
40 what,
3 yards
yard line.
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Pendleton's going to swing it to his right, and that is a catch across the field. I believe that's number 9, Aaron Cullen, junior wide receiver. I'm thinking Aaron Cullen, the son of Troy Cullen, who we just had as a guest on our 920 Sports podcast.
Yes.
Former Kimberly girls basketball coach who was just inducted into the Wisconsin Basketball Coaches Association Hall of Fame.
And our next podcast will feature Brian Butch.
Yes.
He's agreed to come on the podcast. He's now also assisting with the Badgers
Matt
basketball?
LePay on the radio, yeah. He'll be the analyst, the color analyst. Butch was part of that Hall of Fame class as well with Troy Cullen. Congratulations to both as Doucette coming around left side. Oh, he's got a block downfield. Oh, it's coming back, isn't it? Boy, Doucette's got some wheels. But, yeah, you see the flag at the 36-yard line. Looks like that's coming back. And you can kind of, the fans now have seen the laundry on the field, and guessing that's going to be a holding call. That's going to bring that one back. Hold is the call against Kimberly. See where the foul occurred and where they'll mark the ball at the 45-yard line. So 2nd down and 12 to go.
That was tough, Brett, because as you said, Doucette showing off that speed a little bit.
Yeah, just a junior, and turned on the jets as he got in the open field. But holding call brings it back. Pendleton's going to drop back. He's under pressure. Screen coming up.
Oh,
and,
look out.
That did not look like it was supposed to in the playbook. Let that rush come forward, but I think the Rockets roll over that defensively. So here you go, 3rd and 12. And a chance for Neenah to finally put an end to this very long drive and get Van Evenhoven and Dean back onto the field. See if we can kind of figure out the playoff picture as well. Ricardo had a story about that earlier this week. Who's in? Who's
nearly in?
Neenah needing another win, right? Another conference win to punch its ticket to the playoffs. Kimberly, one of the teams already with a postseason appearance locked up. As Pendleton waits for it, hands off to Tyson, looking for some space. And number 9, one of the first Rockets there, Aiden Carey, the senior inside linebacker. So punt team coming out for the Papermakers, and the Rockets hold, thanks in large part to that big holding call that I don't think Doucette was into the end zone, but he was near the goal line, and that brought it all the way back. So negates a big run by Doucette. Instead, Kimberly punting it away.
Good hold by the Neenah defense. A nice drive again that took off a fair amount of time off the clock.
Dean back to receive. Ricardo, I'm thinking you don't want to really punt it right to him, do you?
That would not be the game plan.
And that's exactly what it sails out of bounds. So let's see where the official's going to mark it. And right about the 20-yard line.
Well, Brett, that drive by Kimberly took off 7 minutes nearly, 11 plays, and it barely went. It didn't even go 30 yards. In terms of field position. But it did the job in terms of taking that time off and flipping it a little bit. Where do they have it?
Right at the 20.
Okay.
Up at the Neenah 20-yard line. So second opportunity for this Rockets offense. Maybe we'll see a little defensive game again. I
thought there'd be some offensive explosion, but.
Well, I know you said you want the fireworks. Fireworks are going to be after the game.
Yeah.
Actually for homecoming, as Dean brought down quickly. Let me talk a little bit about Grant Dean, Ricardo. I mentioned this last week on the stream, but this was an interesting stat. You know, he's only a junior having an outstanding season. 867 yards rushing, 14 rushing touchdowns, also has a receiving touchdown, a kickoff return for a score. But I added up how many yards he's gained in his 14 touchdowns. 299 yards on his 14 touchdowns. That's a 21.4 yards per TD run.
Does that count as being explosive?
Oh, man. Almost 300 yards just on his touchdown runs alone. I'll mention his touchdown runs as a play fake. Watch out. Van Evenhoven dropped. Number 90 by the Papermakers. How about Sawyer Hanlon, the junior defensive lineman? 6'1", 235 pounds, gets in the backfield. A little bit of an awkward tackle for Van Evenhoven. Good to see that he's up. But how about Hanlon getting into the backfield and a third and long again, 3rd and 15 now for the Rockets. That defensive front by Kimberly. Remember when they were playing Bayport, really made life miserable for the Pirates at times. Sam McGivern, Hanlon.
I think McGivern had a big play at the end there that kind of solidified the win, the big sack.
Van Evenhoven's going to kind of dump it off to Luke Keller, one of your sensational or your Elite 11 players, 6'3", 215-pound senior tight end, but he is off the field. or I should say the Rockets offense off the field. 4th down coming up. Yeah, Dean's touchdown runs so far, 44, 17, 23, 15, 50, 43, 3. Then he went really kind of boring, 2, 1, and 3 yards. Then 54 yards, 1, and 16 yards. He's had 2 games in which he's rushed for 5 touchdowns. Also has a 58-yard touchdown reception, 88-yard kickoff return. His 14 touchdowns as we hit the end of the first quarter. Among the state's best for Grant Dean. Scoreless ties. We look at our Cellcom ETS performance scoreboard. Yeah, his 14 rushing touchdowns coming into tonight. That's tied for the 12th most so far in the state in any division. Of course, you remember also part of that championship 1,600-meter relay team at state track this past spring. You were you were there.
Very true.
So obviously the game plan for any defense is to make sure you bottle Dean up as much as you can. And so far so good for the Papermakers, as we'll start the second quarter with a punt. And should be very good field position for the Rockets with Brendan Grams back to receive. Nice punt. He's got a backpedal. Grams finally catches it, takes it at the 35-yard line, and not much there for the Papermaker senior. Got a text from our guy, Mike Sherry. Kaukauna leading 7-0 over Appleton North. The Ghosts. What about Matt Binsfeld and the job he's done at Kaukauna? Really, talk about Steve Young and what he's done a good job of rebuilding this Neenah football program. You got to say the same for Matt Binsfeld. He's got the Ghosts competing for a Fox Valley championship.
We had the Ghosts on the roundtable this past Wednesday. Finley Dorio, Carson Van Dinter, and Sawyer Steinecke. Confident group.
Gavin Tyson.
Nice tackle.
Fox Valley Association Championship, that is. Yeah, but the more the merrier in the FVA race, right? Fond du Lac starting to play some good football now, becoming a very dangerous team. Can the Cardinals make it? Can they get in?
I wouldn't count them out. That's way too talented of a team to just erase, and that's a team no one's going to want to play in the post. Can you imagine them getting in as an 8 seed or something like that? Yow.
Fond du Lac came here and darn near beat Kimberly before the Papermakers rallied 1-1. As Pendleton hands off to Tyson and going around that right side. Tyson's got the first down. Yeah, that was a week 4 game. Kimberly winning that one 22-21 right here over Fond du Lac. Rockets play Fond du Lac next week at home. Oh, he's short of the first down. Okay, I thought he was past the 50-yard line. So 3rd and 1 coming up. Tyson has it. Juts to his left. That time he gets the first down.
He did. Okay.
You can see forward progress. Again, past the 50. So fresh set of downs coming for the Papermakers. Yeah, looking at tonight, Fond du Lac hosts Oshkosh North. And Oshkosh North really struggling. So you assume Fondy will win that game, improve to 3-4 overall, or a 3-2 overall, 3-4 overall, 3-2 in league play. So they would have a above 500 record in the conference.
Now they have to play one of these other teams. I'm not. Do they play? I think
they play Neenah next week. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Tyson
10 midfield. Brad, look at this.
Tripped up. Just when it looked like he was turning the Jets on there, he gets tripped up. But so far so good for the Kimberly rushing attack. These two teams tied last season, Ricardo. FVA champions, Rockets' first outright or shared title since 2017 when they shared the South Division crown with Fond du Lac. And both in the race again this season for that league title. Pendleton now drops back, and a rainbow one right side.
Caught it.
And it is a catch. Number 42, Jackson Powell, Ricardo, the junior fullback. How about the fullback showing some hands? 6'2", 215-pound catch in traffic.
Yeah, I was going to say, he was pretty well defended, Brett. That was some good coverage by the Neenah secondary.
Good throw by Pendleton, but just trusting Powell to go up there and make a play. Powell does. And now Powell back to doing the dirty work in this running game as Tyson following Powell's block. Boy, look at this time already elapsed in the second quarter. Time of possession seems to be favoring Kimberly, right, so far in the early stages of this game, but both teams running the ball. And the time ticking away here at Papermaker Stadium. Pendleton now going to swing it. Rainbow one. Oh, he had his receiver. Bryson Veith, the senior wideout, as Pendleton tries to loft one to Veith, but just a little too far, and third down coming up. Heath with a few steps on the defender. That might be something you file in the memory banks later on in the game. That might be there again. Instead, third down, big third down here for this Neenah defense. Pendleton going to swing it. Ooh, nice catch. That's Veith again. Where are they going to spot this? And it's a first down catch. Boy, Veith knowing where the sticks are, right? Knowing where that first down spot is.
At the 12?
Yeah. Boy, that talk about precision route running there. Knowing where you have to be to pick up that first down. Veith found the spot, and Pendleton really delivered a strike. Threw it high. Veith goes up, grabs it, and first down and 10 at the 12. Quick snap. Well, Pendleton, that's a live play. And Pendleton Pendleton got the snap, Ricardo. He's just standing there. It was not supposed to be snapped that fast. And Pendleton just says, I'm going to run. And no gain on that play. I think Pendleton was like, I don't think I'm supposed to have the ball right now, but the officials aren't blowing the whistle. Maybe he was expecting a false start.
Well, good recovery from him, though, and it looks like was he able to gain a yard?
Well, yeah, they did give him a yard or two. Okay, yep, maybe a couple yards on that run. Maybe a yard and a half. I guess 2nd and 8 they'll call it. Is Pendleton now looking incomplete. Fans in front of us want an interference call. Doucette, the intended receiver there, so third down coming up.
Coach, I see, Brett, I see Coach Jones down there, right by the 50. Rosie, find a random camera angle. That's him right there by the 50.
I saw him at the Packer game again last night on the sidelines as well. Trying to help that Packers could use all the help they can get right now after that performance last night. There's Coach Jones, a longtime coach here. Now, I guess helping out a little bit in any way he can. Led the Papermakers to, 5 straight state titles. 6 title appearances, 70-game winning streak. Pendleton, a little pump fake. And I think the wind might have played a little bit of a role.
Yeah, I agree with you,
too.
Brett.
Brendan Graham's was well covered there, but there's a breeze, like you said, Ricardo, a little bit of a breeze coming to us. So throwing into the wind, fourth down now. And what does Chad Michaelwitz want to do? Is he going to try to kick the field goal here?
Yeah, with that wind. I mean, I know they like their kicker, so.
Yeah, Hunter Berry, good kicker, senior. Looks like they'll try a 27-yard attempt coming up for Berry.
All these points critical, Brett, in this game, I'll tell you that.
Oh, blocked again! Didn't see who
that
got.
Young, 15.
Was that Young again? Well, Young was by the football here in this near sideline. But
Luke Young.
Now, Ricardo, last week in that 7-6 victory for the Rockets over Appleton North, they had a blocked field goal and a blocked PAT in that victory. And then, of course, the miss by Appleton North at the end of the game, which was a 30-yard attempt. So special teams really doing some work when it comes to defending field goals and getting enough pressure, getting enough of a breakdown up front to get a hand on there, and there's another block again for the Neenah special teams.
Dean.
That's a pass. It's a little push pass to Dean, trying to get Dean in space.
I was a little surprised at how it was young, and there was another Neenah guy who got in there, Brett. So a breakdown on the left side of that special teams offensive line for that field goal.
But, boy, they've got something schemed up. Something's working right now for Neenah special teams when you've had 3 blocked kicks over the last 2 weeks. As Van Evenhoven, number 22, one of the first ones there for the Papermakers, Thomas Meyer, senior defensive back, plugging that hole. Not much room right now for that Rockets running attack.
Papermakers defense is really playing well. Both defenses playing well, Brett, and no surprise, no score on the scoreboard.
Yeah, as we look at our Cellcom ETS performance scoreboard, still a scoreless tie here in Week 7. One of 2 big games in the Fox Valley Association. Also keeping an eye on that Kaukauna-Appleton North game. You look at Kimberly 5-0 in the league, or 4-0 in the league. Appleton North, Kaukauna, and Neenah 3-1 in the league standings. Third down. Van Evenhoven, he drops back. Oh, nice throw to Dean. Almost looked like he was looking left, and it's almost, I'd have to look at that again. It almost seemed like a no-look pass the way he found Dean.
That was his first read and went right to it,
Yeah,
Brett. Nice pass from Van Evenhoven. That's a 16-yard gain for that pass play. 2 for 2 in this quarter for 20 yards passing.
Try to watch the game through the binoculars. It seemed like Van Evenhoven was looking a little bit more left, so I don't know if he was just trying to, maybe he was just fooling me. Well, Van Beek, Ricardo in at quarterback, and hands off to Dean.
Was that Van Beek who threw that then?
I wonder.
I didn't see him enter, so that must have been from the beginning.
That must have been a Van Beek pass.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look to see if I can see Van Evenhoven across the sideline. I don't see him right now.
Well, if that was Van Beek throwing that pass, that was a laser shot.
Yeah. I'm trying to see number 10 if there's someone being attended to. I don't. And yeah, Van Beek now, Ashton Van Beek back in at quarterback, number 18, so the freshman back in. Interesting play fake there as Van Beek lofts one over and incomplete. So third down coming up. But Ricardo, I'm going to keep an eye on that Neenah sideline.
Please do.
See if I can see Evan Van Evenhoven. Again, he came back last week from that wrist injury, that hand injury that he suffered in Week 1 against a peer and left the game at that point in Week 1. Didn't come back until Week 6. Played well. Looked like he was doing well so far tonight. But, boy, you'd hate to see if he re-aggravated that. Third down for the Rockets. Van Beeken at quarterback.
There's a little bit of movement there.
Yep. Oh, I can see he's getting, looks like Van Evenhoven is on the bench. Looks like they're looking at his left ankle, maybe getting it retaped. I can see the trainer over there taping up his ankle. Maybe his right ankle, it looks like. Far sideline, near the blue tent there. So, guessing he'll be back in the game, but it's nice when you, they're going to try to set up a screen that's just off of Keller's fingertips. Nice for Steve Young to be able to have a quarterback that's seen quite a bit of action so far. Bring him back in the game and not much
he
doing.
looked good passing the ball for sure.
There you can see Van Evenhoven.
Yeah, thank you, Rosie. Good,
Yep.
good camera work there.
He's standing up there. Looks like he's going to try to work that ankle a little bit.
That's why Rosie's the best. Eagle Eye Rosie.
So we'll see if Van Evenhoven's able to play. In the meantime, punt. And, boy, that takes a big skip on the turf. Where are they going to mark this? Looks like about the 22-yard line. 3:41 to go in the second quarter. Scoreless here at Papermaker Stadium as we look at our Cellcom ETS performance scoreboard. We're going to have another defensive battle.
Yeah, we are. And so much for my prediction that it was going to be an offensive showcase. Nope.
Remember, 2 weeks ago, we streamed the big Wrightstown Freedom game, Northeastern Conference. That was 15-14 defensive slugfest. The Wrightstown Tigers were able to win.
Yeah.
Last week, 7-6 defensive slugfest. Neenah beating Appleton North. And here we are scoreless late in the second quarter at Papermaker Stadium.
By the way, still 7-0 Kaukauna over Appleton North. Kaukauna stops Appleton North in the red zone, Brett.
Yes, Tyson now. Yeah, Kimberly and Kaukauna meet next week. Battle for K-Town. That potentially looks like it could be another big one. I can tell everybody we're going to actually shift gears, and we're going to go back to the Northeastern Conference. We've got a great matchup in Week 8. Fox Valley Lutheran hosting Luxembourg Casco. Spartans undefeated in league play. Foxes with 1 loss now, right? Ricardo, you saw them last night go down to Wrightstown, but Liam Hyde is a heck of a quarterback.
He is.
Tyson, watch out. Ooh, big hit. That's next week could be kind of a, I guess you could say, a potential Northeastern Conference championship game. Wrightstown wants they'll play Little Shoot, so Tigers have an interesting game against the Mustangs team that Little Shoot's back's against the wall right now as far as playoffs. Clock running, under 3 minutes to play. 1st and 10 for Kimberly. Carson Pendleton waiting for it. Got Marcus Doucette next to him. And Doucette's going to get it, looking for that seam up front, just pushing his way forward. Was strong, hard running, getting downhill fast. Once he attacks, hits that gap, and he's going to try to take a defender with him. Check that note at the 46-yard line. 2nd and 1 coming up.
Boy, he took his defenders for a ride there, didn't he? Run game starting to find its rhythm, though, Brett. You're starting to get that sense.
Now Doucette, big stiff arm, gets the first down.
Needed a yard, got 2. Doucette a couple carries and 11 yards this quarter for Kimberly as that time is going down. 2:08 left here in the first half. No score.
Papermakers with 2 timeouts remaining here in this very fast first half at Papermaker Stadium. And now, nope, play fake. Pendleton flushed out.
Oh, got him.
Nice throw and beautiful catch again, Bryson Veith. Boy, Pendleton, Ricardo, putting it again right where Veith can grab it. Veith showing that athleticism again, leaping up again. Pretty good coverage, I think, too. A defender on his back, but sort of boxes him out. And Veith right now showing those good hands. Senior wideout having a nice first half here. And 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
He also did a good job of evading pressure, Brett, did Pendleton, to get that pass off, stepped up in the pocket.
Tyson now looking for a rail on that right side. Clock continuing to run. Kimberly with those 2 timeouts remaining. So quickly back to the line will be the Papermakers.
14 carries, 54 yards I have for Tyson unofficially, Brett. And as for Pendleton, 4 for 7, 70 yards. Plenty of time. Again, 2 timeouts for the Papermakers as well, as they're right outside the red zone.
Boy, he's got time. Pendleton, and there it is. Who was that? Gavin Tyson?
Yes.
Yeah, number 3, Gavin Tyson, and Pendleton finds Tyson. How many yards did you have on that?
20 yards.
20-yard touchdown pass. Wide open. And first strike goes to the Rockets, or the Papermakers. With 49 seconds to go in the half. Hunter Berry out for the PAT. And gets that one through. And as we look at our Cellcom ETS performance scoreboard, Kimberly strikes first. There's a look at Carson Pendleton, 20-yard hookup to Gavin Tyson. 7-0 the score late first half. Good throw, Ricardo, good route. Tyson just kind of gets lost back there, and he's wide open.
Good protection.
Yeah.
That offensive line giving Pendleton some time to throw, go through his progressions, and able to find that matchup. He did that on Dean as well. I believe Tyson beat Dean to the end zone. So nice play overall by Kimberly. Takes the sting a little bit off that missed field goal. Remember, Brett, their last drive ended with that special teams miscue.
And remember, set up by that nice connection between Pendleton and Veith. You can see Veith talking to, looks like his position coach. Is that Ryan Hinsky down there? Roy Hinsky's, he's been on that staff for quite some time.
Hey, you saying he's old?
No. I think Hinsky looks like he could still go out there and play a little bit. Also talking to number 15, the quarterback there, Carson Pendleton.
North just missed a 31-yard field goal, so Kaukauna still leads 7-0, Brett.
Ryan Hinsky, a Menasha grad, had a standout career over there. Heck of an athlete, that Hinsky family. Remember, brother Eric Hinsky, of course, major leaguer for many years. And bouncer to Jack Mikesel.
I'll see, is Van Evenhoven coming out, or is it still Van Beek?
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, Van Beek again, Ricardo. So Van Beek back out. So we'll see if I see Van Evenhoven still on the bench getting looked at across the field. Boy. So Van Beek's going to hand off to Dean. And we'll see if Van Evenhoven can kind of get things loosened up, get back on the field for that second half. He's obviously an important part of that team and that rushing attack as Neenah now takes a timeout. Stay with us at halftime. We've got a lot to talk about. Packer Show coming up for us again on Monday night at the Fox Club, Neuroscience Group Field at Fox City Stadium. We had Jerry Kramer on this past week, this past Monday. Boy, that was a fun show. Packers legend, such a storyteller. But our regular co-hosts are back, Josiah DeGuara, and he's going to stay in that tight ends room and bring in one of the rookie tight ends as his guest. So I'll announce who that will be at halftime and how everybody can watch.
Getting a little windy here, Brett.
Oh, I see that. I'm looking at my sign, hoping that's not hitting anybody. I don't think so.
Second down and 6 from the 36. Rockets. 38 seconds left here in the first half.
Luke Young going in motion. Van Beek swings it over to Young.
Oh, nice pass.
Yeah, nice pass. Watch out. Young is in Kimberly territory, and another timeout, I believe, coming with 32 seconds to go. Well, let's see. Clock stops to reset the chains, and the Rockets getting back to the line quickly. And I think they just burned another timeout.
17-yard connection, Brett. Van Beek hit him in stride.
Yeah, that was a nice play, right? Get Young in motion, get him out in space. Young, he's deceptively fast. He does a lot for this team, the son of head coach Steve Young. Good basketball player, too. And just big, strong kid. And you could see once he got that ball, turned the corner, he was moving pretty good down the sideline. So that was a nice little play design. And with one timeout to go in Kimberly territory. And again, it's nice when you bring in Van Beek, who's had all of that playing experience. He's not fazed by any of this at all.
Be 1st and 10 from the 47 for Neenah with 32 seconds left. Brett, another interesting score here for statewide kind of purposes. Muskego leading Arrowhead 13-10.
Okay. Muskego, where are they ranked? Top 5 somewhere,
Yeah, they
right?
are ranked top 5. And Arrowhead's up there, too, in the top 10, I'm going to guess.
That's one of the big games of the night as well. Yeah, that wind's really picked up. I'm looking at the official. His shirt's whipping there pretty good.
All of you out there who have either hats or wigs, watch it.
Yeah. There's a good look at the flag atop.
Rosie right on the ball. Attaboy, Rosie.
Yeah.
Don't worry about Rosie. He has a full head of hair.
Top the upright. He's never going to lose that hair, man. That is
thick and luxurious.
Jealous. Van Beek claps his hands. He's looking left. Big deep down field pass attempt. Nope. Grant Dean. Boy, I think half the Neenah or half the Kimberly defense was on Dean on that pass play. Only score of the night was the 20-yard pass from Carson Pendleton to Gavin Tyson. That was just moments ago. 49 seconds to play, actually, here in the second quarter. The other big, I guess, storyline you can say from the Neenah standpoint is Evan Van Evenhoven, the quarterback, now out again. Looks like this time dealing with an ankle or a foot injury. Ashton Van Beek, the freshman, back in at quarterback. Got a lot of playing experience. Filling in for Van Evenhoven. Boy, look at Dean making some guys miss, but a flag is coming in. And, ooh, hard tackle out of bounds. Looks like this one might be coming back.
Are there two flags? There's just one.
Holding is the call against the Rockets. So back in Neenah territory. Ball will be spotted at the 48-yard line with 19 seconds to go. Second down.
15.
And Van Beek will try it again. He's got time. Going deep downfield again. Oh, wow.
Nice pass.
It was. Tough catch or tough attempt for Luke Young. Kind of claps his hands. You know, he's a competitor. He's probably thinking I should have grabbed that. But a lot of traffic for Young. But it was there. It was up there to maybe made a play to be made.
What I liked about Van Beek is he's fearless. He sees an opening. It might be a tight window, might be a tight throw, but he has that kind of gunslinger. Let me throw it up there and have my guy, go for that 50-50 ball, Brett.
Seemed like a little bit maybe more pace than what was expected. The ball was humming pretty good. Third down, 13 seconds to go. Let's see what Van Beek has in store for this third down play. He claps his hands, gets
a little
snap,
early movement.
And yeah, that's going back again. I think at this point, if you're Steve Young, you hand it off and let's take this into halftime. Of course, Kimberly with those 2 timeouts, they're going to burn one and maybe take advantage of a special teams opportunity. We'll see. So third down, what do we got? 3rd and 20.
Another flag.
Little dump off to Grant Dean, who's got some space. Whoa.
Another flag. There's 2 flags.
Wow. This has been a disjointed final few seconds here in this second quarter. And I can see Chad Michaelwitz. He's pointing. Back him up. Back him up. Head coach for the Papermakers. Second year here at Kimberly. Got a great deal right now, folks, on a digital subscription to the Post-Crescent, any of our USA Today Network Wisconsin sites. For the next 6 months, you can get all the benefits included with a digital subscription for just $1.
$1?
$1 for 6 months, unlimited digital access. That includes full access on your desktop, tablet, mobile devices every day, exclusive subscriber newsletters. The e-edition is part of that. That's a digital replica of the print edition. Full access to national reporting with the USA Today Sports Plus app. Just go to any of our sites, and you should see a subscribe link at the top of the site. 6 months for $1. You can't go wrong.
Our guy Hank DeWild is saying, hey, Gavin Tyson is the Lightning and Marcus Ducez a Thunder for the running back combo there for Kimberly. I want to say they both have a little bit of each. They both got a little bit of Thunder and Lightning. But anyway, Brett, that ball is back to the 38-yard line now.
Yeah, at this time, with
3rd and 25.
4 seconds to go, you just take a knee, right?
4 seconds. I mean,
going to hand it off to Dean. Maybe he can make something happen. And instead, Dean is bottled up. And that's how the first half comes to a close. So a disjointed end to what was a defensive slugfest in the first 24 minutes. Halftime at Papermaker Stadium. Homecoming night. We look at our Cellcom and ETS Performance scoreboard. Shows the Papermakers leading the Rockets 7-0. Week 7 game. Big game in the Fox Valley Association. We'll get Ricardo's thoughts on the game, and we'll talk all about the many things we have coming up digitally on our USA Today Network Wisconsin websites after this short break.
From the top of the 222 building on College Avenue in downtown Appleton, it's Varsity Roundtable. Ladies and gentlemen, Ricardo Arguello.
Welcome back to Papermaker Stadium here in Kimberly, Wisconsin, Week 7 game. And as you can see in our Cellcom and ETS performance scoreboard, the home team, the Papermakers, leading the Rockets 7-0. Again, thanks to our sponsors, Cellcom. First, unlimited data for smartphones is now more affordable than ever at Cellcom with their new unlimited plan options starting as low as $25 per month per line. No matter how many lines you need, Cellcom has you covered. Visit cellcom.com/unlimitedplus for details. ETS Performance, that's the leading provider of sports performance training for athletes across the Midwest and Northeast Wisconsin. ETS provides a customized approach to strength, speed, and injury prevention training for athletes of all sports ages 8 and up. Train like the pros and take your performance to the next level. Visit etsperformance.com to schedule your free athlete evaluation today at the ETS location nearest you. By the way, Ricardo, locations in Appleton and in the Green Bay area. And Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear. They have the skills and experience to customize your apparel and spread the word about your organization. Contact them today, 920-731-0922. You can always also send them an email at Cooney, COONEYS 0922 at SBCglobal.net. So, Ricardo, I know you're kind of scouring the Twitterverse, the Xverse for some scores. What do you have?
Well, we haven't seen an update on the North Kaukauna game, but I will say that it's 21-0 Notre Dame over Menasha.
Wow.
That's a bit of a surprising score. Not that I didn't think Notre Dame might win that game, but to see them really kind of take that lead over, I think, a very good Menasha team. Little eye-opening. And, yeah, if anybody else has some of these scores from around the area, remember the NEC and the Bay are off today. Well, not off. They had their games yesterday.
Yep.
So, but those are the two prominent ones that I've seen so far.
Yeah, Notre Dame and Menasha, that's basically the championship of the Fox River Classic Conference South. Figure Bayport and West appear in the north side of that conference. They meet Week 9. That's going to be a big one between the Pirates and the Phantoms.
Muskego now leads Arrowhead 20-13.
Yep. I know you mentioned the Kaukauna Appleton North score, 7-0. Ghosts leading the Lightning, much like this one here, 7-0. The only score we have had tonight, Ricardo, was the 20-yard pass from Carson Pendleton to Gavin Tyson with just 49 seconds to play in the second quarter.
Fond du Lac 28, Oshkosh North nothing.
Boy, Oshkosh North really struggling this year. No surprise there. The Cardinals that would be, 3 straight wins. They'll be 3-4 overall, but
dangerous.
3-2 in the league.
Kaukauna now leads 7-0 at the half, so that's a halftime score.
All right.
And but Brett, you're right. We mentioned that before the game started, that no one's going to want to play that Fond du Lac team. I'm telling you that right now. They sneak into the playoffs, which they have a very good chance of doing.
Yeah.
Look out.
Well, Ricardo, also look out for their record because they're going to be they could be. Well, we'll see where they go.
Yeah.
But they could end up having a first-round game against the Neenah, for instance, or the way the computer is going to set things up.
The HAL 9000.
Yeah, so you're going to get some funky first-round games for sure, which might not thrill the coaches too much, but it's going to make us happy because we're going to have some pretty good games to stream. We're going to be streaming playoff games all the way through the state semifinal round. But I guess your first half thoughts.
Well, for me, Neenah. I'm curious what's up with Van Evenhoven, okay? You said that you saw some tape around his ankle.
Looks like they're working on his ankle. In fact,
are they still doing that?
Looks like he's across the way and might have ice on it now.
Oh, okay. If that's the case, that means they took off the shoe, then I'm guessing, and then his day might be done. Now, listen, Van Beek has been through everything this year, the freshman for Neenah. He's really overcome a lot of challenges put forth in front of him. We'll see if he's able to overcome another one. And the good thing is, Brett, he has experience now. Yes, he's a freshman by designation. Do you really think he's a freshman anymore?
No,
he's played enough games where he's gotten some good experience in the FBA. That's like playing, a full season's worth when you play 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
So this is going to come down to, can your defense make a play, Brett, and help your offense a little bit? Maybe there's a special teams play. Maybe Dean returns a punt. Maybe there's an interception return for either a touchdown or something that will put them in good field position. You got to help that offense. And for Kimberly, they missed the field goal. I think they've done a pretty good job of allowing that run game to kind of set the tempo, Brett, and then intersplice that with the Pendleton throws. And Brett, I love seeing Pendleton grow as a passer, and he really has grown by leaps and bounds. You see him make a couple plays that were kind of off script a little bit, right? Scramble a little bit, finding his open receivers, and I think that's more of the same. If you're Kimberly, you just want to have that offense, the offensive line, grind out those yards. That really takes a toll on the Neenah defense as well. And kind of power your way to this victory, 7-0 lead, Brett. But with Neenah, not finding its rhythm on offense, this might be like a 14-0 score in other terms.
Well, we'll see how the second half goes. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at Van Evenhoven across the way. He's on the bench with ice around. Looks like his right foot, right ankle, and you can just see the frustration in his face. I mean, it's just been an injury-plagued season. He's such a talented athlete, such a talented quarterback, such a key piece of that team, and was feeling so good that he was able to get back in. Had the big win last week against Appleton North and played well. And now he's just going to have to nurse another injury. And hopefully it's nothing that's going to be anything prolonged and keep him out too long. He can get back at it. And again, as we'll talk about the playoff picture, but the Rockets still needing that one more victory.
Yes, they do.
To get into the playoffs. In fact, looking at what the Rockets have left on the schedule, Fond du Lac and then at Oshkosh North after tonight. So Spartans have down this year, Oshkosh North. You feel good about that one to be able to punch their ticket. Maybe by that time everybody's healthy, and then all of a sudden Neenah is a very dangerous team as well in the playoffs if they can just shoo away that injury bug. Got some things to talk about. Our Packers show is win, lose, or draw, Ricardo. We move on, right? The show must go on. And Clubhouse Live is Monday at 6:30. Takes place at the Fox Club. That's inside Neuroscience Group Field at Fox City Stadium in Grand Chute. Home of the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, also the new home to Clubhouse Live. Packers tight end Josiah DeGuara will be back. He's one of our 2 co-hosts this year, along with Keyshawn Nixon. It's Josiah's turn. And his special guest this week is rookie tight end Tucker Kraft.
Yeah.
And I saw Kraft had made a few catches last night. Same with DeGuara as well. So unfortunately, Luke Musgrave, the other rookie tight end, went out with a concussion. Hopefully he's all right. Guessing Josiah will get Musgrave on the show at some point as well. But I know the Packers are very high on these young tight ends.
Is DeGuara bringing his significant other, Brett?
I don't know.
Let's hope he does.
That's not for me to comment on one bit, okay? But DeGuara and Kraft will be there next on Monday night. Show starts at 6:30. However, stadium gates open at 4 o'clock, and admission is free. So get in and check that out. It's a whole lot of fun. Fortunately, we do have to talk a little bit about the Lions game, but when the guys bring on their guests, this is where we take the opportunity to get to know those players, right? Take the helmet off, the shoulder pads, the uniforms, ask some questions about their upbringing. Of course, Kraft, a South Dakota kid, I believe. And so it'll be fun to get to know one of the rookie tight ends. And I think you'll have a good time. We'll give away some signed items after the show. And I also will have an announcement to make on our Packers ticket giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
I have the tickets in hand.
Oh, boy.
I know the 2 games, 2 sets, the 2 games that we'll have tickets to give away for, both games at Lambeau Field, and we'll announce at least when the first set of tickets, we'll give those away. It won't be on Monday night show, but we'll give all the details. You have to be present to register and win.
And
So-
Brett, we'll have our team of the week as well.
Yeah, who's that going to
On
be?
Monday, that'll be Xavier Girls Volleyball.
Good. We bring a group of about, 20?
About that, and they'll be bringing one more thing, and that's the trophy from last year.
There you go. So that'll be fun. And, yeah, looking forward to it. Stop by. I mean, again, I think, folks, if you're a reasonable Packers fan, as bad as last night's performance was, they're going to be up and down this year. They're a young team, and this is the way it's going to be until they kind of mold and fortify and galvanize and do all that stuff. Young quarterback, young receivers. And injuries are hurting this team as well, particularly up front.
Right.
So on the offensive line. So just come and have a good time and see if the Packers can catch fire. But again, you can't beat it. Free parking at the stadium as well. If you can't make it to a show, it's streamed live online and on our websites, our Facebook pages, our USA Today Network Wisconsin YouTube channel. You can even ask questions online as well.
Right. Folks have said the food's good too.
Yes, I've heard great food at the stadium. So check it out. It's a really cool atmosphere.
When are we going to try it out? When are you going to treat me?
I don't know. Maybe at the end of the
Actually,
season.
what do you mean you? Why don't I treat us with the company card? That's what I'm going to do.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Food does look good when they're bringing it out, and you can actually order at the table just by scanning the QR code. You can order and pay all electronically, so very user-friendly, good experience in that sense, and it's just a beautiful venue. You can look out at the baseball field, and heck, give the Brewers some good vibes, right? The Timber Rattlers are the minor league affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers. Brewers Central Division champions. They'll open postseason play on Tuesday in the wild card round against an opponent yet to be determined, but definitely looking forward to that. And, of course, that takes us then to Wednesday night Ricardo Varsity Roundtable Show.
Yeah, that's right. The only online high school sports talk show in the state. This past week, again, we had Kaukauna football on. They're leading Appleton North 7-0 at the half. And we had Finley Dorio. We had Sawyer Steineke, and we had Carson Van Dinter on the show. And they were a very, very confident group. Brett, they're having a great season. The only loss they've had, I think, was to Fond du Lac. Again, Fond du Lac Fond du Lac is going to be the surprise team in the playoffs. I'm just saying it now. But anyway, to get back to Kaukauna, Brett, that's a great team. That's a team, if they can beat Appleton North, that's a pretty big game next week against Kimberly, Brett. But for online, in terms of an online high school sports talk show, you can't beat the Varsity Roundtable. Every Wednesday, 7 o'clock, the kids have a great time. Hoping to have Fox Bay Lutheran girls volleyball on the show this Wednesday. Going to try to make that work, Brett. The best place to find out, go to facebook.com/Varsity Roundtable. You'll find that. Or we're on TikTok. TikTok at Varsity Roundtable.
I'm not on TikTok.
You're not, but the kids are. That's all that matters, my friend.
Ricardo, win is enough when it comes to social media.
I know. It's getting to be too many. I can't keep count.
It's nonsense.
Hey, Rosie, are you enjoying this? They got a little, is this Black Sabbath playing for you? Little War Pigs? I know Rosie's, Metal Rosie. That's his Twitter
he's
account.
nodding his head, yes.
Yeah, Metal Rosie loves the heavy metal music.
By the way, you mentioned Fond du Lac, too. Keep in mind, their first 4 losses were to what?
Yes.
Sussex, Hamilton, Franklin.
2 top 10 teams.
Appleton North was part of that, which is knocking at the door in the top 10. Who was the other one? Kimberly. And then they came back and beat Kaukauna. Now they're on a little bit of a run. So it's not like they're losing to nobody, right? Losing to some of the who's who in Division I in the state of Wisconsin.
I wanted to mention something because I was at the Wrightstown Fox Bay Lutheran game yesterday. Really impressed with Wrightstown's overall game. They even threw the ball a little bit. I think they were 3 or 4 of passing. Got themselves out of some 3rd and longs with the passing game, and you know they're a throwback team. They run the ball 3 yards in a cloud of dust, chew up time, give their defense plenty of rest so the defense can play very well on the other side of the ball. They are going to be Division 5 this year.
Yeah, watch out.
Look out. When I see the other Division 5 teams out there, and then I compare them with Wrightstown, if I'm Coach Klister, I'm feeling pretty good.
Right, and that's a good league that they're in. That's like a D4 league, right? Is Luxembourg Casco D4? Do they go up to D3?
They're D3.
It's like a D3, 4, and 5 league.
Yeah.
It's a talented conference. So Wrightstown's going to be battle-tested when they drop down a division, much like Kaukauna playing this D1 FEA. Then they drop down to D2, and you know the Ghosts are going to make a run like they did last year.
That's just a team to watch. We were talking about Fond du Lac, but Wrightstown in D5, I like their chances, Brett. Is it going to be another homer pick for me, Brett, when I make those Those postseason picks? Probably.
Probably. I'm sure you're going to all 7 divisions. You're going to have USA Today Network, Wisconsin State champs. But hey, Ricardo, was the toolbox on full display for the Tigers?
He had a couple of key runs. He didn't dominate like he did against Freedom, but yes, he did have a nice game. But Aiden Humphreys
that's right.
is the kid that really he had 90, I think around 90 yards rushing, some really hard-earned yards, and he had the key defensive play that thwarted a possible game-tying drive by Fox Bay Lutheran with like a minute 20 left. So Wrightstown really looked good, Brett, and that's a team that not a lot of folks talk about.
No, and they should.
I was glad to be there. All the guys there said hi. Like, are you? Why? There's no live stream tonight? I'm like, no, we do it once a week.
There's a Packer game on.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
a Packer game on. It's kind of tough to match a viewer base. You know. So, but no, it was. Let me tell you, it was fun covering a game the old school way, relatively speaking.
Well, Ricardo, old school way would have been you on the
sidelines.
sidelines.
No.
You've got to be on the sidelines.
I'm too old for old school in that capacity. I had a good time talking with Coach Verbaten. Eric Nels, I want to say, from the baseball coach. Good time up there. Good time. Good guys.
Good guys, and they treated us very well. Also, Craig Hayes, the athletic director, talked to his brother Corey Hayes a little bit, the boys basketball coach, when we were there a couple weeks ago. That was, again, a 15-14 victory, Wrightstown over Freedom. That was our Week 5 game of the week live stream. Aiden Humphreys, I read your post game, your recap, and that's when he found out that he was called a toolbox.
Yes,
they started doing that from the
he
press
didn't even
box.
know. Yeah, that was just Verbaten, just on off the cuff. Well, we'll call him toolbox.
And then we started doing it on the live stream.
Yeah, but Verbaten told me that before the FEL game that his mom came up to me and she liked the nickname. It's just like, I never heard anyone call him that before. And
well,
that's how nicknames are formed, though, right? Somebody gives you the nickname. It's not like some other folks who kind of give themselves nicknames, like Bill Michaels, the big unit. He kind of gave himself that nickname. Yeah, you don't do that. That's not the way you get nicknames. No. Like Rosie, we could call him Rosie.
Yeah, I don't have a nickname. You don't have a nickname.
I do, but they can't be said on family TV.
We're just Brett and Ricardo, or Ricardo and Brett, maybe.
Well, they used to call me PC. They just call me PC, and I was trying to tell people that's just was my former Twitter moniker. That's not really like my initials.
Yeah. The toolbox. Well, we try to do our best to move that forward, pay it forward, right, and keep that nickname going. So maybe we'll see Wrightstown in the playoffs. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see.
D5. I'm trying to think what other D5 teams. Amherst, maybe.
Yeah.
That are strong in the area. Cedar Grove, Belgium.
Another team I wouldn't mind checking out at some point if it works out in the playoffs would be Xavier.
Yes. Underrated team.
Notre Dame, possibly. I would like to see the Flanagan kid for the Tritons. Notre Dame, you said, was up 21-0 over Monash in a big game in the FRCC
I should keep that
South.
on that scoring updates on my Twitter.
Second half underway at Papermaker Stadium. Kickoff to the Papermakers. That's Doucette looking for some space, and he's got a seam, Ricardo. He's out in the open. Watch out. He's on the run now. Doucette, and he's finally pushed out of bounds, but what a run by Doucette.
Was that Wasco?
Liam Wasco, the senior kicker was the one who chased Doucette out of bounds, but when Doucette got in the open field, he turned on the jets, right? And he was off and running. Good job by Wasco, but look at this field position for the Papermakers to start the second half.
Marking that at the 28, Brett, is that right?
That is exactly right. And a heck of a start to the second half for the Papermakers. High snap, handoff to Tyson right up the gut. And a good gain for Tyson. Look like a lot of the good handful of football alumni on the field tonight, homecoming night. So some guys that played are back. Veith in motion, handoff to Tyson, and boy, nothing doing there. Wow, good job by the Rockets first setting that edge, and then as Tyson tried to move back inside, there was just no gaps with any sort of running room, and third down coming up.
I have Gavin Tyson, 16 carries, 60 yards, Brett. So there have been a lot of 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Consistent run game, grinding ground game by the Papermakers thus far in this game. 3rd down and 4 situation at the 22.
Pendleton going to swing it to Veith, trying to make a defender miss. And 4th down, going to be short of the 1st down marker by about a yard. Looks like they'll mark it, Ricardo, at the 19, so 4th and 1 coming up. Doucette in the backfield. Got to think it's going to him, right?
Has to.
Pendleton waiting for the snap. And Doucette has it. He's got the 1st down. And just a good job. He's explosive, but just that power for Doucette, and keeps this drive going.
Needed 1, got 4. 1st and 10 at the 15. And Brett, a score here by Kimberly really puts Neenah.
It does, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Neenah in a hole.
2-score hole, and with how well the Papermakers are playing defensively right now, and definitely an uphill climb for the Rockets. That's how this defense needs to shut the Papermakers down. Instead, Tyson into the end zone from 15 yards out. 2nd touchdown of the night for Gavin Tyson. This time, check that. There is a flag on the play. So before we mark that as a touchdown, let's see what the call is. I think it's coming back.
Yeah, I saw Coronado motioning this a holding. And we have some fireworks already, Brett, on the other side of the.
I think that, it's supposed to be post-game fireworks. What's going on? And there's a good shot.
Thank you, Rosie. Rosie's all over it.
Yeah, they're supposed to shoot those off at the end of the game.
Uh-oh. Did they
hopefully-
get
Hopefully nobody's over there messing around. So penalty negates the touchdown run. That would have been a 15-yard touchdown run by Tyson instead. It's a 1st down again for Pendleton, and he's going to keep it.
Oh, his hands wide open.
Yeah, he's swinging. Well, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. He's in. From 18 yards, that's number 93, Connor Baruchak.
Baruch?
He's listed as a wide receiver wearing number 93.
He has some thickness to him. Boy, I wouldn't want to tackle that kid, Brett.
2nd touchdown pass of the night by Pendleton.
And more fireworks.
And Wasco getting ready for the PAT. Are they shooting fireworks for the touchdown, or what's going on across the way?
I think that's Hunter Berry for the.
Or I'm sorry, Hunter Berry. I'm sorry. Yep, Liam Wasco for the Rockets. Hunter Berry for the Papermakers.
I'm just trying to get this kid's spelling right on the touchdown. Connor Baruchak.
Good for Berry, and with 9:11 remaining here in the 3rd quarter, we look at our Cellcom ETS performance scoreboard. 2-touchdown lead now for the Papermakers, 14-0. Kimberly on homecoming night, opening drive. Ends in a touchdown for Kimberly. Remember that drive, Ricardo, that scoring drive was ignited by that long kickoff return by Marcus Doucette deep in Neenah territory. 18-yard pass from Pendleton to number 93. He's listed 5'11", 205-pound junior wideout, Connor Baruchak.
Baruchak. That sounds like someplace you get a good burger. Hey, I'm going down to the Baruchak to get myself a double cheeseburger.
I tell you what, when you're wearing number 93, that kind of hides you a little bit, doesn't it? Too?
Yeah,
You're not
that could be too.
Not expecting to see a number 93 coming out in the flat. And Pendleton did a good job of selling it. Little play fake, spun around. And Baruchak open, and then showed some speed on that far sideline to get it in the end zone. Here, before we continue, we had a comment on our YouTube channel,
yes,
USA Today Network Wisconsin YouTube, that on our scoreboard, the home team is always on the right side and not the left side. And I'll explain why we have it set up that way. We are a 3-person crew.
Yes.
And when we have multiple duties and we're multitasking, it's just, and I'm running the scoreboard, it's easy for me just to double check and make sure that the score is right when I look at the scoreboard here and it matches what looks on my screen or on our screen. So that's why we have it set up that way. It's not because we don't know what we're doing. It's just
So lay off.
So I can look at the scoreboard here, see Kimberly on the left, Neenah on the right, and I can quickly maintain that I've got it right on our scoreboard. So that's why we're there. No need to get testy out there. There's a reason, a method to our madness, Ricardo. We do that for basketball too. We've tried it the old way.
You do it the way you feel is best. That's all I'm going to say.
We've tried it the old way, and all of a sudden, you get mixed up, and like, wait a minute, I got this wrong, and it's just easy when we don't have a large crew. So Van Beek back at quarterback, Grant Dean nowhere to run, trying to go up against that stout defensive front of the Papermakers.
Brett, don't you feel like this is a critical drive?
Very much
for
so.
Neenah.
Yeah, and somehow they've got to get their star running back going a little bit, right? But that's kind of the influence of Evan Van Evenhoven. That's what we saw last week. There were times when that Appleton North defense had to honor how well Grant Dean is, one of the top backs in the state. They focus on him, and Van Evenhoven then becomes the other running back and has a big game.
2nd and 9 for Van Beek.
But Van Beek, he's going to fire it, and a little miscommunication there. 3rd down coming up, and the last thing you want if you're the Rockets is a
you don't
quick
want
3 and out.
Nope. Not with the way Kimberly's running the ball.
Neenah, a playoff participant every season since 2014. Doesn't include the alternate season that was played in the spring of 21. That is for Kimberly.
Let's just forget that ever happened.
Yeah, Kimberly, a playoff participant in every season since 06. So 3rd and 9, a big play here in this game for the Rockets. Down 2 scores. Kimberly opening the second half, scoring a touchdown. 18-yard hookup. Baruchak, the receiver. Pendleton, the quarterback. And Van Beek over the middle. And
he had his moment.
He did. Just a little off on the timing. That was Connor Briones, the intended receiver. And that is a quick 3 and out. Here comes the punt team. Final home game of this regular season, Ricardo, for the Papermakers. Not only is it homecoming, but it's senior night. 2 games still remaining on the schedule, both on the road. At Kaukauna next week for Kimberly, and then at Appleton North week 9, a game that we will stream. Watch out. Whoa. Good hands by Brennan Grams. That was a risky decision right at the end to field that punt.
Brett, you heard the crowd.
Well, that could have been a big break for the Rockets, but Graham showing the hands. Remember, Papermakers had the Week 1 game canceled here.
That's true.
Supposed to play Milwaukee Marshall, but Marshall had to scrap that game due to low numbers in the program.
Because it was a non-conference game, it was a canceled game. It didn't count as a forfeit, Brett.
Is that what it is?
That's what Coach Michaelwitz told me.
I see. Tyson again. And Ricardo, this is a moment where this Neenah defense now really has to buckle down, right? And see if get this Papermakers offense off the field quickly, and maybe that Neenah offense can then catch fire. But boy, the last thing you want is, if you're the Rockets, is to see now the Papermakers methodically move the ball down the field again and start really draining that clock. Big offensive line for Tyson to run behind, and Tyson's going to get it again. Spins his way to a 1st down right at the 50-yard line.
$18 carries, 73 yards is what I have for Gavin Tyson. Nice night for him.
Pendleton. That's Graham's trying to spin his way for a few more yards. They give those bigs up front some attention, Ricardo. I've got for the Papermakers. I see number 54, Mason Campbell, a 6 foot, 260-pound senior. Number 56, Nick Plowman, a 6'3", 285-pound senior. Number 60, Nathan Rathkamp, a 6'4", 275-pound junior. Grayson Mitchler, number 77, a 6'3", 240-pound senior. And number 79, Eli Wenig, a 6'4", 252-pound senior. As Tyson, he's got another first down for Kimberly. Don't forget about Ricardo, Abe Coronado.
Tight end, yeah.
Tight end fullback, senior, 6'1", 255 pounds. He's doing some good work. I mentioned Jackson Powell before, number 42. Junior fullback, 6'2", 215 pounds. So some of those guys that doing the dirty work.
They don't get enough love, really, to be honest. They're the ones taking a pounding in the trenches.
Now Ricardo, number 93, Connor Baruchak is back out there,
Whoa.
number 93. He's lined up kind of in that fullback spot. As Doucette trying to get through. Number 33 also back there, John Hansen, a junior fullback, 6 feet, 185 pounds. Thank you for catching that, folks. Yeah, Neenah does not have 344 timeouts, just 3. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that. Fixing the scoreboard.
That'll be a long game.
Oh, my. My apologies for that. And Pendleton now hands off to Doucette. Oh, good little stutter move.
Oh, nice spin move.
Look, putting that shoulder pads down. And he's inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line. And looks like we have a Papermaker down. Let's see. That's number 60, slow to get up, but he's getting up. Nathan Rathkamp, just mentioned him a little while ago. And looks like Doucette now hobbling off the field, Ricardo.
Oh, boy. He's a hard runner, I'm telling you. But that would take a little bit off of their offense, Brett, because it's either lightning to Tyson's thunder. I still say that both of them have speed and power.
Yeah, sitting down now. The trainer's going to look at him, and hopefully he's all right.
1st and 10 at 28.
Little pump fake as Pendleton spiral to Veith. Oh, just couldn't quite connect. Thank you, Jeff, by the way, for that that tweet or that X. I'm still not sure what we're supposed to call this.
Just say tweet. No one cares.
Should we say Twitter?
Who cares about X?
That's what it's called. That's what my app says. It says X. Yeah, Jeff, 344 timeouts. Might be a little high. You're right. Yes, that, as Ricardo said, we'd be here till next month. 2nd down and 10. Quick pass. Pendleton to number 9, Aaron Cullen. I'll talk about Pendleton here for a little bit, Ricardo. He's thrown, coming into tonight, 9 touchdown passes over the past 3 games. You add 2 more, so 11 over the last 4 games. He had 3 last week against Oshkosh North, 4 the previous week against Appleton East, 2 in that Week 4 victory over Fond du Lac, now 2 tonight. Coming into tonight, the previous 3-game stretch, he had completed 30 of his 45 pass attempts, 67%, only 1 interception over that stretch. So really starting to kind of come into his own as the starting signal caller for the Papermakers here. 3rd and short coming up. Tyson finds the hole, gets the first down. Of course,
and not just that, Pendleton, Brett, he's throwing the ball more efficiently as well. I have him unofficially 9 for 13, 128 yards. So you see that completion percentage rising, right? Which is what you want to see from your quarterback. That means he has more command of the offense. He knows where the guys are going to be, and that makes your offense that much more efficient.
No doubt about it. Of course, Carson's brother, Caden, remember? He was a starting quarterback here for Kimberly. He was in 2019, that alternate spring season in 21, and then again in the fall of 21. Heck of a career for Caden, over 4,500 passing yards, 41 touchdowns.
Heck of a basketball player too, right?
Yeah, completed 63% of his passes. As Doucette, he is back in. Yeah. Caden, currently a sophomore quarterback at Carroll University, the Pioneers. Caden, if you're watching, maybe you're here tonight. I don't know. I would think you would be down there getting ready for a game. But hope you're doing well if you're watching. Real nice career for Caden Pendleton, and now Carson following in big brother's footsteps, playing great at that position as well. Second down for Kimberly.
They've dominated the time of possession here, Brett.
They really have. This feels like it could be a knockout punch right here as Tyson now trying, good tackle. Number 82 on the tackle, Connor Briones, the senior outside linebacker, getting in fast on Tyson, forcing this third down.
.21 carries, 80 yards for Gavin Tyson, Brett. Nearing that 100-yard barrier.
Tyson looking for a seam, brought down quickly by Dean getting in there, so fourth down coming up. Or is that a first down? They are moving the sticks. All right, that was a first down run. Boy, just got it. Ball at the 7.
Dean just took a visit to, I have to look, maybe it was Iowa. There was a place that he went to. It was a Big Ten school.
He visited Wisconsin a little bit earlier, didn't he? Of course, Luke Elkin at Iowa, the long snapper for the Hawkeyes. Son of athletic director Mike Elkin. As Tyson trying to get his way into the end zone, and he is in from 7 yards out. Tyson Ricardo, his second touchdown of the game.
92 yards on 23 carries I have for him as well.
Two third-quarter possessions, 2 third-quarter touchdowns for the Papermakers as Hunter Berry now in for the PAT. And Berry kicks it through.
Yeah, let me check that out. I'll look up Grant Dean's
Berry's PAT makes it 21-0 Kimberly as we look at our Cellcom ETS performance scoreboard.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not Iowa. Iowa State, Brett.
Okay.
Iowa State. And obviously you know about the Wisconsin visit. I know he may have also visited, is this the Bison? North Dakota
State.
Yeah. Someone's going to get a good player. I'm telling you that right now. He's very versatile.
Well, if Luke Elkin and Mike Elkin are listening, they don't want him going to Iowa State, right? They want the Hawkeyes to get in on that. Yeah, you're right. He's going to be a heck of a player at the next level. Well, I forgot who the Hawkeyes are playing, and I haven't really paid much attention to college football this week. I don't. Got to figure out what games I'm going to be watching tomorrow. Supposed to be a beautiful day though tomorrow, Ricardo. I might spend my day outside doing a little biking, maybe a little grilling.
Oktoberfest is going on downtown.
Yeah, I'm not going to that. I'm not gonna mingle with 100,000 of my closest friends. You crazy?
You're no fun.
I could think of nothing else I'd rather do less than hang out.
Just bike and go home and have your cereal.
With 100,000 people on College Avenue. Nope. No problem if you want to do that. That's just not my cup of tea. That's a lot of people. You know how much I'd love to be touched and bumped. And hey, Brewers up 3-0 over the Cubs in the top of the 6th. Brewers might knock out the Cubs right from the playoffs.
That'd be pretty funny. Though I am a Bears fan, I am not a Cubs fan. Or White Sox, Cardinals. Oh, they've been out of the playoffs for a while though.
Got that Big Ten schedule. Iowa hosts Michigan State tomorrow night. And is Wisconsin off this week? I think so. As Dean with the carry.
Brett, I have Dean 6 carries, 22 yards. He has really been bottled up by this Kimberly defense. Really, the offense as a whole for Neenah has not had extended drives. The Papermakers have really made things difficult for them to get any kind of rhythm.
Again, the storyline here, first half, second quarter, Evan Van Evenhoven out with looks like a foot injury. And Van Beek back in, and Dean with the carry, which is really unfortunate for Grant Dean. Just finally was healthy after that wrist or hand issue that he had to deal with at the beginning of the season and that week 1 victory over De Pere. And finally gets healthy enough to get back out there. Last week plays well, big game tonight, and now dealing with another injury. So hopefully, again, he can heal up and get back on the field because he's a fun player to watch.
Rosie's trying to get a picture of him. He's behind all the guys there on the bench.
Yeah, had that right foot, right ankle wrapped in ice. So hopefully it's not anything that will linger and he can get back on the field quickly because, again, he's fun to watch play. Looks like we're going to get movement. Haven't had any updates, recent updates on that Kaukauna-Appleton North game, the other big one in the FBA.
Brett, take a look at my third quarter playlist here.
Oof.
See the difference between number of plays by Kimberly and so far only 5 plays, not including the
right, 5 offensive plays.
Yes,
yeah.
For Neenah, that's not going to get it done, and it's imperative that they have some sort of long drive here and get a touchdown or something to make this within 2 scores.
Well, we'll have to wait to see the next play. We hit the end of the third quarter as we look at our Cellcom ETS performance scoreboard. 2 touchdowns in that third quarter extended that Kimberly lead to 3 scores. 21-0 Papermakers with the lead. 12 minutes to play in this big Week 7 matchup. Kimberly top ranked, defending state champs with really a tough closing stretch as well. Next week, a tough game at Kaukauna. And then on the road again at Appleton North, a game we will stream in Week 9. As for us, next week's game, we're going to be visiting the Northeastern Conference again in a really big game there. Just going up the road to Fox Valley Lutheran High School as the Foxes host Luxembourg Casco. A game with league championship implications. Luxembourg Casco 5-0 in conference play and 6-1 overall, while FVL is 4-1 in the NEC and 5-2 overall. Live coverage will kick off at 6:45 p.m. Van Beek hands it off to Dean. Second down, trying to get back to the sticks. 2nd and 11 now coming up for the Rockets. Down 3 scores. And Ricardo feels like now this quarter, Dean's explosive and can is a home run threat anytime he touches the ball. But now it feels like if you're the Rockets, you just want to take some momentum into that game against Fond du Lac next week. Feel good about yourselves, and there's going to be another procedure call, I think. Another false start against the Rockets. As long as I'm thinking about it, Ricardo, this is the game to kind of mention it. Neenah assistant coach Steve Jorgensen, again, congratulations to them. He's been elected into the Wisconsin Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame. I believe the enshrinement will take place in April.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he built powers at Oshkosh North and right here at Kimberly as the head coach. Also helped elevate Fond du Lac as an assistant, although he did coach the Cardinals for 1 season, didn't he? Jorgie, as he's known, led Oshkosh North to the WIAA Division I state championship back in 2000. And, of course, right here, the Papermakers guided them to Division II state titles in 07 and 08 and a Division II runner-up in 09. He was also inducted in the UW Oshkosh Hall of Fame in 2022, so a lot of Hall of Fame honors coming for Coach Jorgensen, and well-deserved. As Van Beek, just a little off. That was close as Briones, the intended target.
I gotta be honest with you. I thought he would have been inducted earlier, but nice honor for Coach Jorgensen and staple in the Valley, Brett. I mean, he's just been a part of many programs that have been turned around.
Yeah,
that's been his thing. Taking programs that have not been successful and turning them around and making them state contenders. I still say that Fond du Lac team from the COVID year, which you don't like to mention, that might have been one of the best we've ever seen.
Braylon Allen and
he was an assistant on that team.
Wall Jasper, who's now the quarterback at Minnesota Duluth. Van Beek swings it over. Oh, well, good tackle.
That's the second time we've seen that play, Brett.
Yeah, Luke Young with the catch, but how about number 20, Mikey Wilds, the junior defensive back, on the tackle.
Well, Kaukauna leading 7-0 after 3 quarters over North.
Well, that North defense, though, right?
The offense needs to get going, though.
So, Rockets out to punt. And fair catch is the signal. Whoa, watch out. Fumble. And it's still loose. Who's got it?
I think, now I can't tell.
Yeah, that's a scrum now. We'll see who ends up. Looks like Kimberly's saying they've got it. That could have been the break, at least something, a little sliver of hope, I guess, for the Rockets if they could have gotten it back.
I'm telling you, so critical. Ball's at the 33. I'm very impressed with the Papermakers, Brett. Let me tell you, defensively, they're stout, playing really lights out, and offensively, what they maybe lack in explosiveness, like in pure explosiveness, they really do make up with efficiency, consistency going down the field, Brent, put together long drives.
Mm-hmm. Well, another opportunity to do just that. Whoa, Tyson, nowhere to go.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah. Not quite how that was drawn up, but the Rockets will take it.
Loss of 1.
Loss of 1. 2nd and 11 for the Makers.
24 carries, 91 yards. That's yeoman's work for Gavin Tyson. I mean, I'll have to look back. I don't think he had anything longer than I don't think any of his runs went past 10 yards. It's just been consistent, follow your line, hard-earned yards.
Tyson again looking for some space and bounces it. Ooh, good pursuit from the backside. Number 12, I believe that's Will St. Clair, the senior outside linebacker. Ricardo, I got to say it. This is always the fun stat when you do a Kimberly football game, right? Kimberly's state title last season, its 8th in program history, and 10 state championship game appearances, all dating back to that 07 season when Steve Jorgensen was the head coach. But the Papermakers' overall record dating back to the 2013 season coming into tonight, 129-6.
That good?
For a 956 winning percentage. 129 wins, only 6 losses dating back to the 2013 season. That includes this season so far.
Let me tell you something.
Unbelievable.
After this play, I'm gonna give after this penalty, I guess. But
do it now.
It's a timeout. Listen, this is when I kind of chuckle a little bit when you see the Johnny-come-latelys, like the Muskego. They won a title here. They had a little bit of a win streak. Mukwonago, under Coach Ganevok. Okay, they're doing some things, right? Kettle Moraine, Franklin. They had a couple years Franklin with that great quarterback Burkett.
Yeah.
And they did a couple things. That's very cute and nice. But it's another whole other ball game when you're doing that for how many years? What did that? That went back to 2007.
Back to 2013 for that record. That's when the start of the big streak.
10 years.
Yeah.
So 10 years, they've lost 6 times in 10 years. That is a platinum program, folks. Not doing it for 2 or 3 years. You have a good senior class and you make the state title game. No. Kimberly is the gold standard for Division I programs in the state.
Well, you're right. You really should actually add up the record going back to 07, 08 when they won those first 2 Division II state titles. Oh, big tackle by Grant Dean coming in like a missile. Did you see that? Just flying through to register that tackle. 4th down coming up. But that would be interesting to go back another 6 seasons prior to that, right?
Right, and to me, you can't compare a program that's been around the track one time with a team that's running back-to-back 3200s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit of a muff on the punt. But this is a program that has been doing this for more than a decade, 15 years then, right? From 07.
07?
Is that it? Oh, man, I got to break out my toes, man, to count because
You're
I'm
talking
not a math
16,
guy.
16 years.
Seasons.
16 years, yeah. Might be 17 seasons, 16 years. Well, you think about it, 8 titles since then. That's tied for the second most in state history. 8, but 10 championship appearances on top of that. They've won 8 gold balls.
Because good teams come and go, good programs. Remember, Arrowhead was the talk of the town back when they were winning back early in Kimberly. Said, no, where are they now? You know, they're a pretty good team, but now they've been overtaken by Muskego, Mukwonago, and someone else will overtake those teams too. But the only constant, Brett, Kimberly.
It really is remarkable as Dean now looking for some space. But going back to 2013 again, 129-6. That stretch includes 6 state titles, 7 state championship game appearances, and of course that state record 70-game winning streak. You know, last year Kimberly beating Mukwonago. You mentioned Mukwonago, 34-30 in last season's title game. Remember, that wasn't decided until Blake Berry's 5-yard touchdown run with just 26 seconds remaining at Camp Randall Stadium. That was a thriller down to the end. Ooh, nowhere to go for Dean. Chad Michaelwitz, in his second season, from Jorgensen to Steve Jones to now Chad Michaelwitz. Michaelwitz 18-1, about to looks like improve to 19-1 in his 2 seasons as head coach.
Very impressive, and the program has not missed a beat.
No.
And Coach Jones is still here. He's a prominent presence on the sideline and with the program as well. And why not? These are, in some ways, still his kids. I mean, he was there when they were youth, growing up. Still getting those W's.
A lot of pressure, a lot of pressure when you come in. Of course, Dean, I think that's a first down run, looks like it. But, Michaelwitz, he was at De Pere for 11 seasons prior to coming to Kimberly. And just 24 years old when he took over the Redbirds as well. So you're coming into, it's an imposing situation, right? Not everybody, I don't think, can handle it. He's done well. And I think one of his biggest pluses, you can say, on top, he seems like a real good dude. Is he that classic, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type mentality, right? Let's just kind of maybe add to some tweaks here, a wrinkle there, but this thing is humming, and my job is just to kind of keep it humming. And so far, so good. State championship last year, now on the way to improving to 6-0 this season, and maybe a step closer to an FBA championship again.
Still got a couple big games left, but yeah, they are definitely ascending.
Van Beek knocked away. Good job defensively. That's number 20, Mikey Wild. And you know what else? We've talked about this on the podcast too.
The what podcast?
Well, the 920 Sports podcast. But credit him for having Steve Jones on the sideline with open arms.
Him back, yeah.
Absolutely. You want to help out in any way possible? Absolutely. And I think they're very good friends. That can be a little intimidating, right? But no problem. Come on. The more the merrier. The more minds, the better. And that's a sign of a confident leader. You look at last year's playoff run, too. They beat Fond du Lac, beat Neenah, beat Waunakee, beat Bayport, and beat Mukwonago. That's a gauntlet, if you ever want to call it that. This week.
It was. Remember, Fond du Lac gave them their only loss that year. That was at Fond du Lac. I remember that specifically. Talking to Coach after that loss. 4th and 4.
Van Beek keeps it.
Look at that.
And nice little play there is Van Beek diving forward. So a drive right now with 5:02 stops the clock, down 3 scores, and now the offense kind of getting something going a little bit. But yeah, you look at this week's Associated Press State poll, Waunakee 4th, Mukwonago 7th, and Neenah 11th in the large division. Bayport has won 4 straight after an 0-2 start. And Fond du Lac, we talked about 2 straight, probably now 3 straight after an 0-4 start. So kind of a who's who when you look at the playoffs. Oh, watch out, Van Beek. Wow, brought down hard.
But Brett, what about your Spash Panthers?
Braden Ellefson with the pressure there. Spash playing well in the Valley Football Association. Hortonville. Well, let's talk about that, Ricardo. The playoff picture. I was looking at that today, too. Hortonville is one of those teams that needs one more conference win to qualify for postseason play.
Yeah, and they do have a little bit of a gauntlet there at the end. I think they're playing. Yeah, I think they have to play DC Everest as well in there.
Oh, no, you saw them play Spash, didn't you?
Yes, they lost to Spash.
Yeah.
That was at Hortonville. They need to play DC Everest, I want to say, in Wausau West.
Okay.
And I want to say maybe Marshfield.
Ooh, that is a tough finish. As Van Beek nowhere to go. Looks like number 46 in there quickly. Sam Dudek, the senior linebacker. Well, teams that have already clinched in the Appleton area, Fox Valley Lutheran, of course, Kimberly, Menasha, Wyawega, Fremont, Wrightstown, and Xavier. Wrightstown clinches, I believe, after. Oh, they were already in, right?
They were already in.
Appleton area teams that need one more conference win to qualify for postseason play: Appleton North, Clintonville, Hortonville, Kaukauna, Neenah, and Winnicott. And then there's a couple more that have to kind of run the table.
And then there's a few other ones that have to run the table and hope for some help.
Third down for Van Beek and the Rockets. Dean looking for a seam and finally brought down. Fourth down coming up. Again, don't forget about the digital subscription, $1 for 6 months. You can go to any of our websites. Just find the subscribe link at the top of the site. It's unlimited digital access. And next week, we're going to be in Appleton, Fox Valley Lutheran against Luxembourg Casco. That's a great Northeastern Conference game. Looking forward to that one. Could
Lux Casco,
they're good.
They beat Xavier in week 1. I think their only loss was to Kewanee,
yeah.
I want to say.
But looking forward to seeing that one. That's one of our core conferences here in the Valley as well. It's the FVA, the FRCC, the Northeastern, the Bay. Who's taking that timeout? Is that
I did
Kimberly?
not see.
Yeah, Kimberly burning its second timeout. So a chance to see maybe the Spartans can take another step closer to the NEC title, or can the Foxes hand the Spartans their first conference loss? Foxes only with one conference loss as well. Now, Ricardo, just so you're aware, they are shooting fireworks off shortly after the game.
Yeah.
So when you're down there trying to get post-game stuff, keep that in mind. I didn't notice we had a photographer here tonight.
We did. It's Bill.
Was Bill here?
Somewhere, yeah.
I didn't see Bill. You'll check out Bill Glasheen's photo gallery tonight on postcrescent.com. He'll have all the action from this one. And Van Beek, knocked away. That's number 12, Benny Kiefer, the junior defensive back on fourth down. Just got his hands up. Oh, you can see that Kimberly defense celebrating. They want that shutout now. They're closing in with 3 minutes and a second to play.
Very complete game so far from Kimberly. This is impressive. And I know Neenah was missing Van Evenhoven for a large chunk of this game, Brett. But to possibly finish with a shutout, impressive. No other word to describe it.
Gavin Tyson, another touch. We're going to kind of try to wind up. Neenah wanting to call a timeout.
Let's see. Was that a loss for Gavin?
Looks like a yard loss, maybe.
And to be honest with you, I think Neenah's defense has played fairly well, Brett. Everything that Kimberly has had, they've had to earn. There was no broken plays or anything like that. It's been, they've held them. They had to make them work for their yards and their scores.
Absolutely. Well, we'll talk a little bit about, this game and your thoughts here once we
Can I do that before so I can try to get down there and try to talk to some people before?
Sure, whatever you want to do.
Let me just do it now because we're in the last couple minutes. But first, the same thing I said for Neenah. What's Van Evenhoven's status? That's what they want to know. Van Beek has been doing a fine job, but you do want your starting quarterback in there eventually, especially when you hit the postseason. So that's going to be kind of my biggest question mark. As we see Tyson plowing forward. Defensively, I think they're a solid team. But right now, they're big. Again, the question, it has to go to Van Even just because what he can do on the ground and with his arm. He just gives you another dimension offensively, and that really makes the offense pretty potent when he's in there to add in with Dean. Now, for Kimberly, this has all the makings of a team that I can see in Cap Randall. Now, they have a few games here left. Kaukauna and Appleton North could almost say the biggest meat of their schedule is up now. And I say that with all due respect to the rest of the FVA. But it's true. When you finish with those two teams, Kaukauna looks like it's on its way to beating Appleton North. Those are some big games, Brett. You traverse those two minefields, get into the postseason undefeated, conference champs, you got to be considered the best team in the state.
Yeah, the last update was, 7-0 after 3 quarters, Kaukauna over Appleton North. Mike Sherry is at the game as Tyson now finds a rail on that far sideline. He's got the first down.
I have Tyson 28 carries, 116 yards. Nice night for him. And you said 2 touchdowns, right? 2 touchdown runs for Gavin Tyson?
A touchdown reception and a touchdown run.
That's what it was, okay.
Yeah. A real interesting game next week at Kaukauna, right? Kimberly Kaukauna, the battle for K. Who's the real K-Town?
Who's the real K-Town?
But boy, that, again, FVA championship implications, assuming the Ghosts can hang on to beat Appleton North tonight. Pendleton waiting for it. Doucette. And just going to kind of let this clock run. Folks can, for an unlimited digital subscription, Ricardo, right? 6 months for
That's true.
$1 for 6 months. Folks can catch your post-game stuff. When does that come out? Saturday, Sunday?
Saturday morning online, and then Sunday in print.
Subscriber only, correct?
Yes.
And you'll get some quotes and all the recaps, not only from this game, but the Appleton City teams and then the surrounding area. I believe, does the Press Gazette do something similar up in Green Bay?
I'm not exactly sure what Scott Vincey does up there, but I think they do as well, like kind of go through their top teams.
And Neenah going to take its final timeout. I know that is widely read, right? That does very good metrically.
Yes, people are always interested in those wrap-ups, as they should be. Football, the once-a-week kind of sport, and you always want to know which teams are vying or pushing for that playoff push. Again, what I love about football, Brett, is that unlike every other sport, it's the only sport where you have to qualify for the playoffs. You don't just get an entry into the playoffs just because you're around. And you exist. You gotta
earn your way in.
Well, you gotta earn your way in.
Well, in a couple weeks, we're going to be getting ready. That's still hard to believe. Is the WIA going to be doing a bracket reveal show, or how are they going to do that this year?
Oh boy, I really hope not.
And have you been invited to that?
Oh no.
As Tyson now, nice tackle by Briones. 4th down. Stadium starting to file out. Folks hitting the exits, getting in their cars, trying to get out of here. Pretty good chunk of Kimberly fans still sticking around there. They want to see the fireworks show. After the game, they'll turn off the stadium lights.
Yeah, so final numbers for Gavin Tyson, 29 carries, 113 yards. Brett, that is workman-like. That is efficiency. That's workhorse. I'm telling you, hard-earned yards for Tyson.
Kimberly.
Got a tweet from Hank DeWild, our friend. Appleton North came up an inch or so short on fourth around Kaukaunaa's 35. 4 minutes left. Kaukauna with the ball. I'm assuming that's still a 7-0 Ghost lead.
And they had a missed field goal, too, I believe.
So 7 seconds to go. Papermaker celebrating this one on homecoming night. Tough loss for the Rockets. And again, got to get Van Evenhoven healthy, Ricardo, because as you said, he's a
dynamic player. He's a difference maker, no doubt about it.
And that's no disrespect to Van Beek at all. In fact, I think he brings an element offensively as well. You could incorporate him with Van Evenhoven taking snaps as well. But he's just an explosive athlete. And with that tackle, that's the end of the game. Papermaker celebrating, and then as we look at our Cellcom ETS performance scoreboard, Papermaker's with the 21-0 victory here in Week 7. Top-ranked Kimberly keeps it rolling, Ricardo.
Absolutely. Going to be a very big game against Kaukauna next week for Kimberly and for Neenah. Hey, got to bounce back from this because there's only 2 games left postseason starts. So, Brett, I'm going to take off and try to get some comments before the big show starts, I guess, with the fireworks. So thank you again. We'll see you, next week at FBL?
Yeah,
okay.
We'll be there for that one.
All right, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Sounds good. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up here before the fireworks start booming. Quick scoring rundown tonight. Second quarter touchdown and a pair of third quarter touchdowns for the Papermakers tonight. Kimberly got on the scoreboard with just 49 seconds to play in the second quarter on a 20-yard pass from Carson Pendleton to Gavin Tyson, made it 7-0. That was the halftime score. Kimberly with the lead. And then Pendleton with another touchdown pass tonight. This one to number 93, Connor Baruchak. That was an 18-yard hookup with 9:11 to play in the third quarter. Made it 14-0 Kimberly. That actually was triggered by a big opening kickoff to start the second half by Marcus Doucette, and that was the opening drive of the half for the Papermakers. And then late in the third quarter with 1:32 to play, a 7-yard touchdown run by Gavin Tyson, his second touchdown of the game. That made it 21-0, and again, as we look at our Cellcom and ETS performance scoreboard, that's how the game ends. 21-0 Kimberly with the victory. With the win, the top-ranked Papermakers improved to 6-0 on the season, 5-0 in Fox Valley Association play. Papermakers are at Kaukauna on Friday in a Fox Valley Association matchup. Kickoff is scheduled for 7 p.m. And when is the last time the Kimberly-Kaukauna football game will have that type of ramifications when it comes to the FVA title race, assuming the Galloping Ghosts can hang on to beat Appleton North tonight? It's been a while, and that's going to be a fun atmosphere just down the road in Kaukauna. Just have to go down, head east on County CE, and you'll be at Kaukauna High School just a few miles away. As for the Rockets, ranked 9th in Division I in this week's WisSports.net State Coaches Poll, Neenah falls to 5-2 overall, 3-2 in the Fox Valley Association. Their next game, a tough one, home against Fond du Lac next Friday night, and a Fox Valley Association matchup. Kickoff is scheduled for 7 p.m. Again, be sure to check out Ricardo's post game. He was going to get the rundown on how Evan Van Evenhoven is doing. The Rockets starting quarterback had to leave the game, it looks like with a foot or ankle injury, so hopefully Van Evenhoven will be good to go next week and beyond. But again, you'll find that out if you are a subscriber. 6 months for $1. Just go to any of our USA Today Network Wisconsin sites and look for the subscribe link at the top. Get in on that unlimited digital subscription deal. As for us, again, we're headed to Fox Valley Lutheran as the Foxes host Luxembourg Casco in a Northeastern Conference game next Friday night with league championship implications. Luxembourg again, the Luxembourg Casco, I should say, 5-0 in conference play, 6-1 overall, while FEO is 4-1 in the NEC and 5-2 overall. Live coverage for us will kick off at 6:45 p.m. You can access our previous Game of the Week live streams on our USA Today Network Wisconsin website. Just go to the sports section and scroll down until you see the Watch Our Varsity Game of the Week Prep live streams link. And once again, thanks to our sponsors. Cellcom, they have unlimited data for smartphones, and it's now more affordable than ever at Cellcom with their new unlimited plan option starting as low as $25 per month per line. No matter how many lines you need, Cellcom has you covered. Visit cellcom.com/unlimited+ for details. ETS Performance, they're the leading provider of sports performance training for athletes across the Midwest and Northeast Wisconsin. ETS provides a customized approach to strength, speed, and injury prevention training for athletes of all sports, ages 8 and up. Train like the pros and take your performance to the next level. Visit etsperformance.com to schedule your free athlete evaluation today at the ETS location nearest you. And finally, Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear. They have the skills and experience to customize your apparel and spread the word about your organization. Contact them today, 920-731-0922. You can always send them an email at Cooney's, COONEUIS 0922 at sbcglobal.net. So for Ricardo, for Rosie and the crew at USA Today Network Wisconsin, I'm Brett Christopherson signing off from Papermaker Stadium here in Kimberly, Wisconsin. Once again, the final score tonight, Papermakers win 21-0. Thanks for watching, everybody.